What is up, guys? We're back with another episode of The Devil on G String. Last we left off was we've I don't know, it was like Maou. We found Maou. We found what Usami was talking about? Question mark. But let's get right into it. It's not easy to get away from a clinical psychology counselor. Once one gets a hold of you. Truth be told, you can't find a person in this world without a single psychological problem. And if you ask me, doctors are labeling mere discontent as a serious disease. The good news is that I haven't reached the point where I needed to be sent to the hospital yet. Still, a 5,000 yen per hour therapy fee is simply too much of a waste in my eyes. They make money by preaching bullshit about something you could have figured out from reading a book. What a magical, lucrative business. So, should I just talk about my past again? A certain building in the business district houses a clinical psychology institute on its 5th floor. Beyond the reception desk, inside the therapist's room, I sat sitting face to face with the attending physician. The room itself was a spacious 500 square feet or more. A comfortable sofa and a surreal landscape painting are present to relieve anxiety, and a pair of matching tea-colored bookcases, positioning themselves along the daily commodities. Even the light music was circulating the room was there to target the sought-after goal of soothing a patient's soul. Dr. Akimoto's tone was steady, his overweight body was wrapped in a white coat, and he directed a warm gaze at me. I've already read the story of his life from the back cover of his book. His picture gave off the impression of your everyday chubby man, like that of a pig. He's quite a distinguished man. He studied in the States, acted as a special lecturer at a certain university in Tokyo, and had been a psychological counselor in the hospital of said university. It always takes him a while to get to the point. I've already gotten so used to that, I've come to find it almost endearing. Really? One could say his job entails getting his patients to repeat what he already knows over and over for themselves. It seems like I have a different values than the average teenager in this society. Everyone always says to trust others, respect your superiors, help your friends, honor your parents, but that's not the way that my mind works. I believe that people's hearts can be bought with money, that everyone only thinks of themselves, and that people act in order to further propagate what benefits them most. Dr. Akimoto shook his blubbery head. Jesus. Yes, when someone borrowed my money without any intent to pay it back, I wanted to kill them. Yes. He nodded again, satisfied. This could also just be the standard problem and worries that come with growing up, yes? But But the thing is that I'm doing right now aren't all that different from the actions of a delinquent. Gonzo introduced me to Dr. Akimoto. On some level, he knows about my position within the Azai Corporation. And that causes a truly lucrative business worthy of respect. Of course, there's a reason that I spend my money on this counseling. This is a process that I must go through in order to receive a psychiatric signature on certain documents. Those documents waive a large portion of my school's attendance and credit requirements, making it much easier to graduate. To a person like me, who skips often and doesn't take his academics seriously, it's a great deal. Of course, it doesn't cost a pretty penny, but I only come here once a month, so I think of it as using money to buy time. Needless to say, I don't have much personality disorder like Akimoto suspects. That story's a bit long. Is that alright? I glanced at the clock on the wall. I have 15 minutes left on the hour-long session. If I waste too much time, I'm going to be charged extra. To put it simply, it's a result of my biological father's debt. 50 million yen in total. Most of it was from bank and NBFC loans. The real problem started when he borrowed dirty money from Gonzo's organization. Our family was cruelly and continuously harassed by Gonzo's thugs. After mortgaging the house, they carried away all our belongings, furniture, and electronics. There was nothing left. I only found out recently that they sold everything to a pawn shop. Mother was a bit sickly. Since we didn't have a bed, we could only lay down on some winter clothes placed on futons. Still, even my wildest dreams would have never suspected that the loan sharks to be so cruel. Yes, accordingly to newly passed laws, the police can intervene on behalf of citizens when they come into contact with the underground societies. There was even an organization called the Victims Association. They used the internet to expose the ways that money went through the underground. But these efforts were merely a joke to those people. If one debt collector is chased away, another will come. If that one is chased away, yet another will rear its ugly head around. No matter how many times we fled or sought shelter, they would find us and knock on our doors. Filing for bankruptcy was popular for a while, but the process would take approximately 1 year from the initial claim to closure. During this period of time, if the loan sharks caught up to you, you'd be dead. Your home, your parents' home, your friends' home, hotels nearby, taxi companies, newspaper stands, any place where one could get a temporary job, they would search everywhere. In their minds, it's a humiliation to allow one's prey to escape. As people hung on to preserving their honor, those stubborn bastards would chase us to the end, only stopping once they had devoured us whole. We were easily caught at my grandmother's place. They would even chase us all the way to Hokkaido. It was terrifying. Those bastards didn't even spare Mom. They bashed my face in when I tried to protect her. And that was how I first became involved with Azai Kyousuke. I glanced at the clock again. The hour's almost up. I need to stop by the school. I better wrap this up fast. Oh shit! Really? Well, then. Yes, there's something I need to do after this. Dr. Akimoto lowered his meek corners of his eyes. I'm sorry, sir, but the time. He's definitely worthy of being someone whose business is people. He saw through me right away. Then I'll continue for a little longer. I sighed and picked up where I left off. He said you just might be something someday. It's probably because he saw that I didn't seem scared even though I was being pounded on by thugs. It's because my mind has shut down at the time. This man's too warm. I met many people like him in the field in my time. Nevertheless, I don't feel anything. No matter how upstanding a person is, you can't trust them. English distinguished people like this university professor and hospital advisor are still after nothing but money. There have been occasions like today where he gave me discounts on certain time I took. But that too is just another attempt to placate and manipulate his customers. If personal interests aren't part of the motive, then things just don't add up. I'd rather deal with the simple, easy to understand side of humanity than try to truly know someone. So I became the son of Azai Ganzo. Because in the whole world you won't find a bastard that is as simple as him. Ganzo gave me a warm place to live, everyday necessities, and the means and motivation to graduate from middle school. If I went to see him today and mentioned that I wanted to work for the family business in the future, he enrolled me tomorrow in business classes only the rich could afford. If I decided I want to get in shape, then he introduced me to a boxing coach. Only he didn't do that out of love or goodwill. After he heard my request, Ganzo would say the same thing every time. Listen, Kyousuke, the reason that I gave you these things and money is to put you under my control. Dr. Akimoto's expression became grave for an instant. If you ever get the idea in your head to off me in my sleep, I'll have raised you in such a way to make you hesitate to go through with it. Even but for a second. Isn't it great how simple and easy he is to understand? He had no answers to my inquiry. Well, that's pretty much it for time. What is it? I frowned. I sometimes forget about promises that I made. He nodded with force. What about it? He's clearly trying to hide the truth, the reason that he asked me the question. He likely intends to leave it hanging like that on purpose as is a teaser for the next appointment. Thanks again for today. I strained up and left. After I paid at the end of the hall, I was suddenly hit with a wave of dizziness. I need a change of pace. Alright guys, we're gonna end it there. I hope you like what I did, and feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another episode of The Devil on G-String. See you guys.